Hi dear students, in previous video we have studied about basic structure of OSI reference model. So already you have seen this OSI reference model. So I think you know that this model have total 7 layers. It is consisting of 7 layers, physical layer to application layer. So first point is, first we have to remember why we use layered architecture. So layered architecture for communication is essential to simplify the network design. So to simplify the complex network design, we use layered architecture, and one of the layered architecture we are studying is OSI reference model. So it is an open system because it is easily we can use this architecture for two open systems that are ready to communicate with each other. So in today's lecture, we are going to study the functions of each layer of OSI model. So let's start with the first layer, that is physical layer. So what are the functions of physical layer then? The first function is, it is responsible for physical connection. So already you know that whenever we want to transfer a data from host A to host B, before starting transmission of data, host A and host B must be interconnected with each other. So this connection is responsibility of physical layer. Means physical layer is responsible for activate, maintain and deactivate physical connection. So it will turn on the connection and turn off the connection, and as well as maintain the connection. So while listening to this video, better you note down the functions of each layer. So better you note down each function. So second function of physical layer is, it is responsible to define voltage and data rate. Means while transmitting the data, what voltage we have to maintain, and data rate. So data rate means number of bits transmitted per second. So at what speed we can transmit the data, that is decided by physical layer. So it defines voltage as well as data rate. And also the physical layer defines rules by which bits are passed from one system to another system on a physical medium. So it also defines the rules, means some protocols for transmission from host A to host B. Then third function is, it is responsible to convert data bits into electrical signals. So already you know, when we are performing a digital communication, we can't transmit text message directly. So that text message first will be converted to electrical signal. Then that electrical signal is passed through the wire and it reaches the destination. So our text message is converted into electrical signal by physical layer. So this physical layer converts the data bits into electrical signals. Then last and most important function of physical layer is, it decides whether the transmission is simplex, half duplex or full duplex. So already we have studied what is simplex, half duplex and full duplex in previous videos. So once again I repeat here, simplex means transmission is only in one way transmission. Half duplex means transmission is in both ways, but in one way at a time. At a time, two-way transmission is not possible. Then full duplex means transmission in both the ways and in two ways at a time. Means we can send data and receive data at a time. So this is what full duplex. So whatever data we are transmitting from host A to host B, that is whether that transmission should be simplex, half duplex or full duplex is decided by physical layer. Then come to the second layer, that is data link layer. So here functions of data link layer are, this layer converts data bits into data frames. So already in yesterday's video we have studied what type of units each layer exchanges. So in this diagram you can see physical layer used to exchange the data as bits, and data link layer used to exchange the data as frames. So first function of data link layer is this layer converts data bits into data frames. So whatever data bits it receives from physical layer, those are converted into frames by data link layer. Then second and important function of data link layer is it enables error detection and correction. Error detection and correction. So while transmission some error might occur, so those errors are detected and corrected by data link layer. So to do that, it will perform the third function, and that is it adds error detection bits to the actual data which is to be transmitted. So whatever data we want to transmit, that will be in terms of frames. So with that frame, in that frame what it will do is it will put the actual data bits. With those actual data bits, it will put some extra bits as error detection code. And with the help of that error detection code, it will detect the error and correct the error. Then one more function is these error detection bits are used by the data link layer on other side, that is by host B, to detect and correct the errors. Means what? Host A will put the error bits to actual data. Then host B will receive the complete data frame, which is consisting of actual data with some extra added error bits. So now host B, what it will do is it will fetch the error detection code, and based on that code it will identify whether actual data is received correctly as it is sent or with error. So if any error are there, then it will correct it. So these are the few functions of data link layer. Now come to the next layer, that is network layer. So here network layer acts as a network controller. It acts as a network controller. Why? Because the network layer itself decides which route data should take. So while transmitting data from host A to host B, there will be many routes to be followed. But which will be more feasible or more suitable for transmission, that route we have to follow. So this decision will be taken by network layer. So network layer is responsible to decide through which route data should be transferred to host B. Then second function is it selects the best route among all available routes to transmit the data. So from all the available routes, it will perform the routing and it will select the best route for transmission. Then third point is data to be exchanged. So physical layer exchanges which type of data? As a bits. Data link layer exchanges data as frames, and network layer exchanges data as packets. So here that network layer, what it will do is it will break the messages into small packets. So whatever message you want to transmit, that message network layer will break into small packets, and then it will arrange those packets in sequences, means one after the other, and then it will send those packets to host B. So it divides the outgoing messages into packets and incoming packets into the higher layers, into the messages for higher layers. So host A's network layer, what it will do is it will divide message into packets and send it to host B. Host B's network layer, what it will do is it will receive the incoming packets and then it will combine, merge those packets into message and transfer that message to higher layers, means to transport layer. Okay, now come to the fourth layer, that is transport layer. So now what are the functions of transport layer? Let's see. First function is, it decides the data transmission should take place on parallel path or single path. Means it will decide the transmission setup. So whether the data to be transmitted parallelly at a time or in a single way at a time. Then second function is, as the name suggests, means transport layer. As the transport word, that means this layer provides transport services. Means it is the main layer of OSI model. So actual exchange of information will happen in this layer. So as the name suggests, this layer provides the transport services. Next function is, this layer guarantees transmission of data from one end to other end. Means it will guarantees error-free transmission. Error-free transmission. Another function is, it breaks the data group into smaller units so that they are handled more efficiently by the network layer. It breaks the data groups into smaller units, means packets, so that network layer can handle them more efficiently. Then last work is, it determines applications of packets. Means it determines how the packets can be used efficiently. So main functions of transport layer are flow control, error control and segmentation. Flow control means it will control the flow of data. Error control means it will guarantee error-free transmission of data. Segmentation means it will break the data groups into small packets. Then come to the next layer, and which is that is session layer. So first function of session layer is, this layer manages and synchronizes conversation between two different applications. So name itself represents session layer performs session management. Session management, session in the sense whatever exchange is going to be happen, means whatever we are going to be transmit, that particular work, means that complete work we term as a session here. So that session management is the responsibility of session layer. So what it will do is, to perform that session, it will alert the host A and host B, and it will synchronize the conversation between those two hosts, means between sender and receiver. Then second function is, in this level the user will establish system to system connection. Means actually host A and host B get connected at this level, at session layer. So it will establish the connection. Then next one is, it controls logging on and off, user identification, billing and session management. So it controls logging on and off, means it controls when the host should be logged in and when it should be off, like that when the host B should get on and when it gets off. So this is completely controlled by session layer, and it also performs user identification. So sometimes while sending data, by mistake the data might be received by some other person who is not authorized. So whether that user is authorized or not, that is identified by the session layer. So this is what user identification. Then session management. So already I have explained you, session management means it will alert host A and host B to get ready to send and receive the data and get synchronized with each other, means get connected with each other. Then come to the next layer, that is presentation layer. So this presentation layer main function is syntax and semantics. So the presentation layer will define the syntax and semantics. So syntax means it will define which type of data to be transmitted. Semantics means it will define which data format to be used for transmission. So this layer makes it sure that the information is delivered in such a form that the receiving system will understand and use that information. So for example, if host A is sending a information in English language to host B, and if host B could not be able to understand the English language, then is it useful transmission? No. So before transmission of data, the presentation layer will guarantee that data should be transmitted in a understandable format by the destination. So this is what it will define the syntax and semantics. If the data whatever host A is transmitting, if it is not in the form that host B can understand, then presentation layer will perform translation. Translation means it will convert the data from one format to another format. So by converting host A's data format to the host B's data format, so that host B can understand the received data correctly, it will perform translation. Understood? So one more example we can consider, that is the form and syntax of two communicating systems may be different. Consider one system, host A is using ASCII code and host B is using EBC DIC code that is provided by IBM systems. Okay, what is example? Host A is using ASCII code for file transfer and host B is using IBM's EBC DIC code for file transfer. So both host A and host B both are using different codes for file transmission here, but still we want to transmit some data, useful data from host A to host B. In that case, presentation layer will convert ASCII code into EBC DIC code and transfer it to the presentation layer of host B, and now host B will recover the data, means it can understand the data easily because that is in EBC DIC code, not in ASCII code. So this is possible because of translation, and this work is done by presentation layer. Okay, now come to the next layer and last layer of OSI model, that is application layer. So this application layer main function is it enables users to access the network. So this layer is at the top of all other layers as shown in the diagram. This layer contains variety of protocols that are commonly needed by the users depending upon their work. So once the data is transmitted from presentation layer to application layer, it means this data is ready to send it to the actual user. So whenever we are sending a data to actual user, the user should be able to understand that data and user should be able to work according to data. So this layer main work is it will define the protocols it will define the protocols that are commonly needed by users and depending upon their work. So here are few widely used protocols of application layers, that are HTTP, FTP, SMTP and Telnet. So HTTP means Hypertext Transfer Protocol. FTP means File Transfer Protocol. SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, and Telnet means Telegraph Network. So its main application layer functions handling of login or password checking or resetting the password. Means this application layer mainly deal with user facilities and user work. So it handles login of user, password checking, means whether that user is authorized or no, that password checking, and resetting password. So this is the main purpose of application layer. So here are these all are the functions of each layer of OSI model. So let's have a glance on this another diagram of OSI model. So here total 7 layers are there. So bottom 3 layers we consider as lower layers, and also we call them as hardware layers. And middle one is 4th layer, that is heart of OSI. Which is that layer? Yes, transport layer. Then above 3 layers we call them as upper layer or software layers, because they mainly deal with software work, and bottom 3 layers deal with hardware, means data hardware work means taking the message, converting it into bits, then converting bits into frames, means by adding some error detection code, then that frame is converting into packets by dividing that complete frame into small packets, like that. Thank you.